Guys, it does happen that there are knives that come in that are really, really good performers, and I just don't find them as aesthetically pleasing as other knives. That's what happened with this Nalu designed entity. But after carrying it and using it, it's a very, very good knife. So let's turn this around, take a look at it first day in pockets. All right, guys, like I said, I'm kind of conflicted about this knife because of the knives that are here, this Nalu designed entity by Kansept is not my favorite aesthetically. I mean, I'm not sure what it is. I think it's this. I don't know. It's unique looking. It's not that it's ugly. I just find it aesthetically not what I'm looking for, but I do have to admit, this is an incredible EDC knife. So first day in pockets on this. I have not looked up price or anything. I do know the designer. It's Nalu Knives. So this is a Kansept done in S35VN, and it has this really unique broad harpoon shaped blade, titanium scales. It's done in a frame lock with a deep carry pocket clip. Now, I did cut a lot, as you can see in the video there above. I had to do a lot of cleanup for it to look this good. I'm not going to say I find it ugly. I just find it less attractive than a lot of the other knives. So I kind of shied away from using it. But then once I put this in pocket and started using it, guys, this thing is incredible. So the action on this is amazing. All the Kansept knives are. Just a quick little shake shut home. Nicely done titanium on this. The finish on this knife is beautiful. So you've got a really, really fine blasted titanium that is really fine, like super fine. And then all these holes have got all this pop of color on these speed holes here. Done really well. I have yet to have a Kansept come that was not finished beautifully. You've got a blue titanium pivot collar and really, really good construction. Those holes have let this be a lot lighter than I would have expected. So you have some weight reduction and those holes, and then there's weight reduction on the inside. In hand, super comfortable. This thing is incredibly comfortable in hand. And then when you do cut with it, as much as I might not think that that's attractive, that is just about perfect. You've got some perfect purchase, especially if you're doing like a push cut into cardboard, which I did a lot of. It did really well. And the edge on this is pretty standard for what I would want. It's not too thin behind the edge to be like not stable, but it's also just thin enough behind the edge that it cuts really well. And with it being a broad blade, it transitions down really well. And as you can see, they've done a really good satin finish on this. I did have a couple of small things about it that we'll talk about after we get through all this, but there are so many good things about this knife. Action on it, listen to it. Bang, it snaps. Really good access to the lock bar, and it is done in a way that even though some companies try to make this too thin, even though they've removed a lot of material to let you get in on it, it doesn't feel too thin. Really, really good. No sharp spots on this. They've done a really good job of knocking that point off, so there is nothing there. And the jimping on that flipper tab is just about perfect. It's enough to give you purchase on that large flipper tab, but not aggressive enough that it's a hot spot. And you've got some jimping here that it's pretty good jimping. It's not too sharp, and it's also not real soft. And like I said, you've got that spot where you can get up on it for some power cutting. In hand, pretty comfortable. The angle of this is another one of those knives that has that knife curvature. We talked about that with that Rosecraft knife the other day. We talked about it with the knife that's in my pocket right now, which is the QSP Pangolin. That nice aggressive drop gives you some very, very good cutting potential when you've got it in hand. It brings that in alignment. You've got some good belly at the front, but still a nice flat area for doing some cutting. I did cut up some wood cutting with this. Not really any hot spots on this, and it doesn't roll out of the alignment of the cut like some other knives do, and it's nice and contoured. So a lot of good things about this. I do have to say there's a couple small negative things about this knife that we'll have to get into right after you guys hear from Coffee Brand Coffee. Guys, there are few things I'm as picky about as my coffee, and I love to have the freshest possible coffee. So what better company than Coffee Brand Coffee that is providing you on-demand roasted coffee? They don't even roast the beans until you order your coffee. They're providing it on demand delivered to your door, the freshest coffee possible. And because I'm picky, I've picked companies that absolutely support what I believe in. There is no chance that Coffee Brand Coffee is going to support causes that I don't believe in, because there's no BS, there's no politics, no activism dollars. They take all of my money and put it back into the company, and they take your money and they support channels like mine. So please go check out Coffee Brand Coffee. Coupon code Crazy Sharp, all one word, capital C, capital S, saves you 5% at checkout. Support the channel, support what they're doing. It's great. So just a couple small little negative things about it. The pocket clip, I'm not a big fan of the pocket clip. Not just the way it feels in hand, but the way it sits in pocket. So in pocket, this is a fairly broad knife already, and it sits at an angle, which means that it's kicking itself out. Now this kicks back a little bit towards the inseam, but still, like if you're carrying it in the front part of your pocket, it's taking up a lot more pocket space and you have to reach past. And that's the nice thing about these deeper carry pocket clips that are done comfortably, is you can slide this, you can carry this up close to the zipper and then have another knife back at the inseam area along the seam, or the out seam, I should say. And you've got room for more knives, but when they kick out like that, this kind of gets in the way. And then it's not super comfortable in hand. It does sit at an angle though, where it's not getting in the way and it's not forcing material down in here. The other thing that I have to say is I'm not a fan of some of the aesthetics on this. I don't know why I don't like this, but it's got just a look to it that I don't find pleasing. And I did find that, because this kind of just a complete curvature, even though this is a flat, this blade curves all the way up. So it's rounded all the way and then it comes down. I did find that when I was cutting that like material would slide down and then get caught on that sharpening trail. And then that sharpening trail, I don't think with the shape of this blade is going to be adequate to keep you from slamming stones into your flipper tab. You're gonna, if this was me, I would open this up. I would just basically just cut that corner off and make that like a half teardrop shaped choil. That's just like a drilled hole kind of sharpening choil, which typically I'm not a fan of, especially on something that kind of curves back in on itself, where you've got an area where sharpening, you're going to get into the stones. It just doesn't give you enough relief from the other parts. But it is an incredible cutter, and it's got a really, really aggressive cut to it. I would not try to dissuade anyone from this, but we'll see if I change any of my opinions over the next coming weeks. If I don't, if nothing changes, we will do the full review here just shortly. I need to get this back to Jared over at Neves Knives. Big shout out to Jared for a lot of these knives you see on this channel come directly from Jared over at Neves Knives. So let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you back out about your day. There you go, guys. Like I said, I would not try to dissuade anyone from purchasing this knife. It is a very, very good knife. It's just not one that visually appeals to me. Cutting wise, feel in hand, it's great. But sometimes there's just some things that I just can't get past in my head. So guys, if you want to support the channel, the best thing you can do is drop a like on a video or a dislike. But if you do drop a dislike, tell me why. I can't change that content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel other ways, financially, I have got sponsors for these videos. It is Coffee Brand Coffee and Tempered Trail. They are channel sponsors. Use my coupon code Crazy Sharp, capital C, capital S, at either one of them. It's all one word, capital C, capital S, Crazy Sharp, all one word. Saves you 5% at checkout. It's built into the link for the Coffee Brand Coffee one. I have got an Amazon store down below. You can copy that link to your browser, pin it to your browser, use that as your portal to do any shopping on Amazon. It supports the channel. It doesn't cost you anything at checkout. They have to provide me just a portion of the proceeds. And I do have a membership that's tier-based. The baseline and premium tier members are automatically entered into giveaways that I do. The premium guys are that have access to a sharpening tutorial series that's behind the paywall here on YouTube. But everyone has access to my gilded server, all 3 tiers. Everyone gets that, and it's a lot of fun. It's a community we've built worldwide. A lot of people are making a lot of good friends in there. So people are meeting up now and doing things on their own because they're close. That's it on this one, guys. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comments section. We'll see how this pans out. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I'll see you in the next video.